What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Today it is time to clean the filters on our Berkey Water Filter System. So these things are super popular, very popular in the RV community, and we see a lot of questions online on some of the different groups about are they worth it, do they work, they're expensive, but in our opinion they are well worth it. And today we're going to show you how you clean the filters if you have a Berkey Water Filter System. So the filter that we have is called the Big Berkey. They have a travel size, it's 1.5 gallons. They have the Big Berkey, which is 2.25 gallons, and they actually go all the way up to a 5-gallon model. So they make them in some really, really large sizes. This one is just big enough to fit under our cabinet. It's 21 inches tall, so it's a big water filter. Berkey claims that the filters, the black filters that come with it, will filter 6,000 gallons of water before they have to be replaced. I don't know if we filter quite that much water through it, but we filtered a bunch. We've had well water in here. We've had a lot of different water from different water sources, different campgrounds that we've been to. We got this thing a little over 2 years ago when we moved into our fifth wheel, and this is the only thing we've used for water since we moved in. So inside the Berkey water filter, you're going to see these 3 black filters. It comes with 2 filters. It can accommodate up to 4 filters. Ours, while we were traveling around and trying to figure out the best way to transport it, this top section actually fell on the floor while we were traveling, and one of our filters broke off. So we had to order another one. We ordered a set of 2, so we just installed both of those along with the original filter. So that gave us 3 filters, and all that really does is filters your water a little bit faster, so you don't have to wait quite as long once you fill up your top reservoir. So Berkey recommends cleaning these filters every 6 months for normal household use, or when your water flow from the top reservoir down into your bottom part starts to slow down. So generally we clean them when we notice that the water flow is starting to slow down. It's starting to take a long time for the water to filter through. And also what we'll also notice sometimes is that all the water won't filter out of it. It'll stop, with a couple of inches of water left in the bottom, and we know that it's getting about time. So we went ahead and filled this up with water, and you can see that the water is just barely filtering through those filters right now. So that's how you know it's time to clean them. So cleaning the filters is a simple process. All you need is a Scotch Brite cleaning pad, and then you're also going to need this little rubber washer that comes with the Berkey and with your filters, and you're going to use this to prime the filters. That's probably the most difficult part of the whole thing, making sure to get the filters primed properly so that the water will filter the way it's supposed to. Alright, so to start with, you're just going to take off your filters. They're held on by these little wing nuts. So the black ones are our water filter, and this white one over here is just a plug plugging up the empty hole. So once you take your filter out, you're going to take your wing nut and you're actually going to flip it over upside down, and you're going to spin it on to where it's down maybe 1/2 inch or so. And we'll get into why you're going to do that here in just a minute. So all you're going to do to clean these filters, you're just going to run them under some cold water. Take your Scotch Brite Pad and just gently go over the outside of them. And just clean the outside really well. That's all you have to do to clean these black filters. It'll be obvious when it's time to clean these filters because that water will filter through just so slow. It'll take forever to get the water filtered through from the top to the bottom. So now that you have your filters cleaned off, you're ready to prime them. This part it's not really tricky, but it can be a bit messy. So you're going to take your washer that you put on upside down, and you can see we've got it threaded on here, maybe a ½ inch or so. And now you take your rubber washer that comes with it, and you're just going to push that on there. And all that's going to do is give you something to push on so that you can create a seal right here and force the water into this hole in your filter. And what you're going to notice is you're going to see a lot of air bubbles start to form on the outside of this filter. You're trying to push all the air out of it and basically fill this filter with water. So what we do, since we have a pull-out faucet, is get this all set up, get your rubber washer on your wing nut, and then you can just press down on it. And when you start to turn the water on, you can see the water starting to come out of the filter itself. And you just want to run that until you don't get any more air bubbles. Alright, that one should be ready. And you're just going to do the same thing on the next one. You can actually hear the air pushing out of it. You can hear the little air bubbles as it primes. That looks good. If you have a standard style faucet, you can just push this right up to your faucet. But if you have a pull-out style faucet like this one, it's easier just to do it this way. That should do it. Now from there, you just unthread your washers. Make sure that when you take your filters out, your rubber washer that goes in your top section doesn't get stuck in the bottom. There. Tilt that up. And just reinstall your filters. So if you don't have that little rubber washer, or if you're having a really hard time getting the filters to prime, you can also submerge these filters in water. If you keep them submerged in water for 8 hours, that will prime them as well, but obviously that takes a lot longer. So another key when you're reinstalling your filters is not to over tighten these plastic wing nuts. They will strip out. I think that's what happened to our filter that broke. I think I got a little overzealous, over tightened it a little bit, and it kind of stripped out, so that filter was a little bit loose. So when the top section here fell off, it broke the filter off. All right. That's all there is to it. Now we're going to fill this back up with water. I'm going to show you the difference that clean filters make as far as how fast this water filters down. Alright, so we've just about got our Berkey filled back up. When we refill it, we usually refill it all the way up to where it covers the filters. We refill this thing about once a day, so we go through a lot of water in it. And there you can see the difference and how much faster that water is filtering through compared to what it was when we started. So right on top, and you can hear it. You can hear it filtering through and draining down in there. So So there you go. That's how you're going to clean the filters on your Berkey. It's not hard, and it makes a huge difference in how fast this water will filter. As far as traveling with it, we tried a lot of different ways. The way that has worked out the best for us, we carry it in the sink. So we'll put the bottom section down in the sink. We take the top section off and set it beside it, and then typically we'll still have some water left in the bottom, in our bottom part, in our bottom reservoir. We don't want to dump that out and get rid of it because it does take a little time for this water to filter down. So we don't want to get to our next spot and not have any water. So we'll leave the water that's in it, and then we'll take saran wrap, plastic wrap, and I'll cover the top, usually with a piece going 3 different directions. So I'll put one way, one across ways, and then a third on top, and just wrap it up really good with saran wrap. Keeps anything from getting in your water, keeps your water from sloshing out as you're traveling down the road. That's been the way that we've done it for probably close to a year now, and it's worked out really well for us. Other than that, that's about it. I mean, there's a ton of accessories you can get for these things now. They have a stand if you don't want to set it on your counter, if you don't want to set it by your sink. So we keep ours close to the sink so we can just put our cups or whatever we're using right under it. They have a stand that'll raise it up 6 inches off your counter, so you can set it really anywhere on the counter that you have room. They have a lot of different nozzles and spigots now, stainless steel spigots, just a ton of accessories on the Berkey website. And overall, we couldn't be happier with it. I know it's saved us a tremendous amount of money in bottled water. When you think about how much bottled water you go through if you're drinking bottled water, and how much bottled water gets wasted. I don't know about everybody else, but I know we wasted a fair amount of bottled water when we were using that. So this has really cut down on the amount of water that we waste, and it's worked out very good for us. So bottom line, is the Berkey worth it? I mean, they sell on the website. This particular one's $300. We think it's worth it. We would purchase it again. It's been beat up. It's been knocked out on the ground traveling. It's held up great, other than the one filter breaking. But we would absolutely buy it again. We would absolutely recommend Berkey and the Berkey Water Filter System. Hope you guys found this video useful, informative. We appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you guys down the road.